My name is Trevor and I'm going to be taking you through a 45-minute Pilates mat workout. Now, February is the month of love, and here at Silver Linings we are all about loving yourself and loving the body that you're in. So today specifically we're going to be giving our joints a little bit of love. The shoulders, the hips, the knees, the ankles, and even all of those little joints that run up and down the spine in between those vertebrae. For this class, all you will need is your mat. But for the end of the class, you might want to have a wall to hold onto, or possibly a chair, a piece of furniture, a table. If you're feeling particularly brave, you can do the exercises just standing on your mat for that extra little bit of balance challenge. Remember, everything should feel good, nothing should cause any pain. If you're feeling any pain or discomfort, maybe back out of the exercise a little bit and do one of the modifications that I will be showing. Okay, let's come down onto our mats and get started. So come onto your back in your constructive rest position. And just take a moment here with your feet about sit bone width apart, the knees just in a comfortable bent position, the arms down by the sides with the palms facing down. Now, for the first couple of moments, let's just breathe. Take a nice deep breath in. How much air can you get into your lungs? Feel that stretch around the rib cage, and on the exhale, just relax. At this point, we're just waiting for all of those little spinal muscles to switch off. Deep breath in. How much air can you physically fit into your body? And on the exhale, just relax. Now, as those muscles start relaxing, your spine will get a bit flatter and a bit longer. So slide the back of your neck a little bit further away from the rest of your body. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. Okay, let's get those abdominals firing. Bring your hands into a diamond shape, thumbs together, index fingers together, and put the thumbs into your belly button. The fingers go down towards your pubic bone, so that now we're over, kind of where our bladder is. Take the same deep breath in. This time as you exhale 110% until you feel those abdominals start tightening and pulling inwards. Check for me that you're not crunching your lower back down into the mat. Keep exhaling, exhaling, exhaling till there's no more exhale and tightening left. And then on the inhale, we release. And again, exhale completely. Squeeze all of that air out. And you want to feel like the muscles from your thumbs to your index finger are tightening and pulling inwards. Like a corset tightening around your waist. Check for me that you're not shifting the pelvis or the lower back. Last time. Inhale. A useful image is imagine that you are bursting for the loo. You really need to wee and you need to tighten the bladder muscles to hold your water. That's usually an effective image to think about. Let's go inhale. And exhale, tightening 110% exhale. Get rid of all of that air and feel that gentle inwards tightening of those abdominals. And release. Okay, now see, can you switch on that tightening of the abdominals about 50% without using the breath? So we're just inhaling and exhaling naturally and just turning on that little bit of a tummy tightening. For this one, imagine somebody's about to come and tickle you and you're just tightening your abdominals a little bit in anticipation of those tickles. Okay, now we're going to do some knee openings. The right knee is going to smoothly open all the way to the right as far as you feel your pelvis doesn't tip to the right. When you feel your pelvis wants to start tipping, you smoothly return. And we go to the other side. Now it's going to be different for everybody. Some people will be able to go all the way down to the floor without the pelvis tipping. For other people it might be halfway. For some people it might not be very far at all. The main focus here is keeping the tummy muscles slightly engaged and the pelvis absolutely still. So it's just the leg moving. So we're starting to wake up that hip joint. And to the left, open, 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 and smoothly return. Let's make it a bit more challenging. Pick the knee up over the hip socket, but flop the lower part of your leg. So we're not kicking the leg out. And we go again. The leg opens, opens. Now it's a bit more challenging to keep that pelvis from tipping. And back to the center. Let's do 3 on this side before we switch to the other side. Keep deepening and tightening those abdominals so it's just a leg movement. And return. We literally are just mobilizing that right hip at this point. Opening, check that there's no tension in the neck and shoulders. Put all of that work in the tummy tightening. And coming back to the center. Float that leg down. Let's go other side. This is such a gentle, subtle exercise. We don't want to be working too hard. Left leg opens, opens, opens. Check that those abs are deep. The pelvis isn't tipping. And back to the center. At this point, just keep the bottom muscles relaxed. It's just the tummy muscles engaged. How smooth can we open to the side? And then smoothly back to the center. Last time. And really feel with your hands, are those abdominals engaged and a little bit tight? And is the pelvis staying absolutely still? And back to the center. Okay, place the leg down. Let's get our abdominals going with our 100. So bring the hands down by the sides. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Float the arms up off the mat and let's pump here for a few breaths. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's quite a vigorous pump coming from the shoulder joint. The eyes are into the belly button. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Let's pick the legs up to the chest. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more breath here. Keep those eyes into the belly button. Now extend the legs up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly lower the legs to where you feel you can keep the work in the abdominals. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. If you can go all the way to eye level, by all means go there. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're feeling this in the back, bring the legs back in. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last breath now. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, deepen those abdominals. Hug the legs in, place the head down. Turn the head from side to side, just release the tension in the neck. Okay, so now it's about the abdominals, but it's also about all those little joints in between the vertebrae of the spine. So walk the feet a little further out into a nice long bend. Bring the hands just around that fold of your bottom. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, curl the chin to the chest. Start sliding your hands up the backs of your legs. If you need to, you can give yourself a little bit of a pull. Otherwise, just keep sliding the hands, sliding the hands, sliding the hands until we're all the way at the top. Take a deep breath in as you sit nice and tall. On the exhale, roll the pelvis first. Scoop the abs. Now really try and focus on lowering each bone of your spine one at a time. The hands just lightly slide down the backs of your thighs until your hands end up right back in that fold between your bottom and your leg. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, curl the chin, and we start peeling. Remember, if you get stuck, you can use the arms to give yourself a little bit of a pull. Coming to the tall seated position and exhale, scooping the abs. Because today it's all about the joints, we're going to keep the legs in this position and really just focus on how smoothly can you peel the spine. If you want a bit more challenge, you can reach the arms up. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you curl. So for added challenge, the arms just reach forward. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we roll the spine. Watch that you don't just lower like a plank of wood. Really peel like a string of beads, bone by bone, all the way down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale to prepare, exhale to curl. We're also keeping it nice and smooth today, so we're giving those joints lots of time, sitting up tall, and on the exhale, the pelvis rolls first, the abdominals deepen, and we massage the spine. The lower back, the middle back, the ribs, the shoulders, finally the head. Last time, inhale to prepare, exhale to curl, chin to the chest. Keep exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. It's going to help you activate those abdominals. Deep breath in. Remember, if at any point you need the help of the arms, just slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Okay, let's get those hip joints Going, give them some love. Flex the other leg, the foot of the other leg, and hug the right leg into your chest. Now, because it's all about giving our joints a little bit of TLC today, we're going to spend extra time on this sequence. So hugging the leg in nice and tight, make sure that your shin is completely floppy, and we're going to stir that leg in the joint. I'm really making sure that it's just my arms doing the work. The leg is completely floppy. The hip is soft. It's not important that the leg goes far away from you. It's this top part of the circle that we're interested in. The bit where you brush the thigh bone past your ribs. Let's reverse. Brush the thigh bone against your ribs and around. Remember, if there's any catching, pinching, twinging, don't go quite so deep. Good, last couple, just mobilize. Okay, we take it one step further. Point that knee up to the ceiling, but keep the shin floppy. If you imagine that your knee is a pencil and we're going to draw a circle with that pencil on the ceiling. It's a small circle. We go cross, down, out and up. Cross, down, out and up. Now remember right in the beginning when we were tightening the abdominals to keep the pelvis still? It's the same thing here. Ideally, the pelvis is absolutely still because the abs are slightly engaged. Let's reverse. If you want to, you can bring your hands back into that diamond shape to check that the pelvis isn't rocking around. The other foot stays nicely flexed to help support the pelvis and the spine. Last one. Good, now let's make it a bit more challenging. The leg extends to where you feel your flexibility allows, and now the toe is the pencil, and we draw a big circle on the ceiling. Cross, down, out and up. Cross, down, out and up. So the circle is bigger, but the pelvis stays anchored. The circle is also now a little bit more dynamic. Cross, down, let's reverse. The abs are staying engaged. The shoulders are gently pressing back into the mat to help stabilize your torso. Two more. Last one. Give the leg a quick squeeze just to make sure we didn't over-tense that hip flexor. And slide it along the mat. Let's go other side. Flex the right foot, hug the left leg in. Just give it a moment here to let that hip flexor soften and melt. Remember, the shin is absolutely floppy. And we circle, using just the arms. And remember, it's the top of the circle that's important. The bit where the nose comes towards your head. Sorry, the knee comes towards your nose. There we go. Keep circling in that joint. Remember, only go as deep as there's no pain or catching. Let's reverse. So at the top of the circle, we really are massaging those hip flexors. If you're a bit tight, you might feel a little bit of a stretch in the glutes, in the bottom muscles. Last two circles in this direction. Okay, we turn your knee into the pencil. The foot and the shin still floppy, energy through the other leg, and we circle cross, down, out and up. Cross, down, out and up. This should feel like hardly any work is happening in the leg. All the work is in the abdominals, keeping the pelvis absolutely still. Last one in this direction, and we reverse. Your leg should feel like it's made of air, or candy floss, or clouds, anything soft and fluffy. Good, we don't want to work hard in the thigh at this point. Let's make it a bit more challenging now. Extend the leg up. Now for some people the leg will go all the way straight. For others it'll be in a bent position here. We don't want to work too hard in this thigh. Let's make the toe the pencil and we go cross, down, out and up. Cross, down, out and up. Remember, you make that circle as big as the hips and the pelvis aren't rocking all over the place. Last one. And we reverse. Out, down, cross and up. Check that there's no tension in the neck and shoulders. Put all of that work in the abdominals. Two more. Out, down, cross and up. Out, down, cross and up. Give the leg a good squeeze in. And then bring the other leg in as well. Okay, let's whiz through our ab series so we can get to some more joint work. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, curl the head and shoulders. The eyes look into the belly button. The abs deepen. One leg extends. Give the other leg a good hug in, ideally opposite hand to the knee, and we switch. Change and change. Now, even though this is the ab series, it's still about those joints. This one is called single leg stretch, and we're stretching one leg out while the other leg gets a really tight squeeze in for that same little hip flexor massage that we just did in our leg circle. 2 more sets. Keep those eyes looking into the belly button to stop the neck from straining. Bring both legs in, slide the hands towards the feet for double leg stretch. Arms and legs reach. Circle the arms to hug the legs back in. Try not to let the head move. The eyes stay glued to your belly button. We don't want the head to hinge back. Reach. Circle to hug. If this feels too challenging, you can either reach in the same direction as your legs, or you can support the head completely. Reach and in. I'm going to show the full version a few more times. Reach. Circle the arms to hug. Keep those shoulders unshrugged. Keep the eyes into the belly button. Circle to hug. Deepen those abs. Last one. Circle to hug. Place the head down for a moment. Little side to side to release neck tension. We're not going to rest too long. Let's go for our scissors. Curl the head and shoulders up. The legs straighten as far as they can. Perhaps they're straight, maybe they're not. Take hold of the right leg as high up the leg as you can. Keep the eyes into the belly button as the left leg lowers 45 degrees. And we switch with a little pull of the top leg. So it's a little double stretch, stretch. And stretch, stretch. Remember, resist the urge to look up at your feet. When the eyes look up, the head's going to go into a really uncomfortable position for the neck. Keep the eyes looking into the belly button and just focus on deepening those abs into the spine. Pull, 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 pull. Last one. Pull, pull. Join the legs together. Support the head. Let's go straight for double leg lower lift. The legs go down, 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 and up to the top. Keep the eyes looking into the tummy and focus on this upper body curl. That's the important part of the exercise, not how low the legs can go. And up. Scoop the abs to keep that lower back connected into the mat. And up. Let's do 2 more. Down, down, deepen the abs, and bring the legs back up. 1 more. Press the inner thighs together. The abs will be burning a little bit by now. And up. Fold the legs in. Place them down. Place the head and shoulders down. Keep the hands behind the head for a moment. And very gently, about 30% of your full muscle strength, just press the elbows back into the mat and hold it for about 10 seconds. Feel how those muscles behind the shoulders switch on a little bit. And depending how tight you are through the chest, you might feel a little bit of a chest stretch. Okay, now bring the elbows ever so slightly in front of you. If you roll your eyes from side to side, you should be able to see your elbows. Keep the elbows there as you curl the head and shoulders up for crisscross. One leg comes in, other leg comes in. One leg reaches out, opposite shoulder towards that knee, and we switch. And switch. So we're going nice and slow and controlled. We're not rushing the movement. Take care not to make it about the elbow coming forward, but it's the shoulder coming towards that incoming knee. Switch, switch. Stay in a nice high curl so that the body's not bouncing up and down. It's just rotating. Last 2. Final set. Bring the legs in and place the head and shoulders down. Okay, rock yourself up to a 4-point kneeling. Remember how we said we're even going to give all those little joints between the vertebrae some care? This is our sequence for our spinal mobility. So come to your 4-point kneeling. Make sure the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. Let's do our cat-cow, but we're really going to focus on joint by joint. So we curl just the tailbone under, then we round the lower back, then the middle back, then the ribs, then the neck, and finally the head curls under towards the tailbone. Now keep the head and shoulders round, and again we start at the tip of the tailbone. It's just the tailbone that goes up, then the lower back, the middle back, the ribs, the shoulders, and finally the head. Now don't worry too much if you're not getting that much separation between all the parts. Just focus on trying to bend each little bit on its own. That will already be beneficial. Here we go, starting from the tailbone. Keep the eyes up as you curl the tailbone, the pelvis, the middle back, the ribs, the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Now we start from the tailbone again. It's the tailbone, the lower back, the middle back, the ribs, the shoulders, the neck, the head. It might feel like everything's just moving in one big chunk, but just really visualize every joint moving. Let's go again. I curl my tailbone. I scoop the abs to go pelvis, lower spine, middle spine, then the ribs, then the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Last time, tailbone, pelvis, middle spine, ribs, shoulders, neck, and head. Okay, come to your natural neutral spine. Nice long line from the head to the tailbone. Now we're going to do the puppy dog looking for its tail. So you're going to send your tailbone to the right, turn your head to the right, and see how much can you bend sideways as if you're looking for that tailbone on the right side. Now we pass through the center, the tail goes to the other side, and we look for the tail on the other side. We go back to the right. How far can you point your tailbone to the side? How far can you bend that spine to look for that tail? Keep the abdominals just a little bit active so we're not hanging down into our hollow back pose. We look for the tail on the left one more time. And center. Okay, let's finish off this mobility sequence with what I call the disco cat. So we pass through the angry cat pose. The cat looks for its tail to the right. We pass through the hollow back pose. Tailbone and eyes up. We look for the tail on the left. And we're back in the angry cat pose. Let's reverse to the other side. We look for the tail on the left. We send the tailbone and the eyes up to the ceiling. We look for the tail on the right. And we round. Good. Now try and flow through all those positions. So we go right and arch and left and round. Reverse, left, arch and round. Let's go one more time to the right. Don't worry if this feels a little crazy. Just move the spine. And to the left. As long as you keep wiggling, we are good. And round. Okay, push back all the way into a child's pose. Just take a moment to just let the weight of your body hang down towards the mat. Okay. Let's come onto our front and do a little bit of hip extension. So it's about strengthening the back of the hip and loosening up the front of the hip. So come onto your front, cross the palms in front of your forehead, rest the head on your hands. Take a second just to zip the abs in. Imagine that you could slide your palm underneath your belly button. Now obviously it won't lift all the way off the mat, but just imagine that you could pick your belly button up off the floor. Okay, the feet are about sit bone width apart. Find a little bottom squeeze and we float the right leg up. How high can you float the right leg without the hip starting to twist or the belly button letting go? Good, now keep the leg that high and we're going to circle it 8 times in one direction. Now your toe is that pencil and you're drawing the circle on the wall behind you. 2 and 3 and 4. You want to feel like the work is coming from this little fold underneath your bottom. And 7 and 8. Pause. Check that the abs are still engaged in and we reverse. We go 8, 7.
Try and keep the neck and shoulders relaxed. 5 and 4. How high can you circle the leg without the hip coming off the floor? 2, 1. Float the leg down. Take a second to deepen the abs, unshrug the shoulders, a little bottom squeeze floats the left leg up. How high can you get that leg without the hip lifting? Also check that the knee doesn't bend. And we circle 8 times. We go 8, 7, 6. So the top of the circle is what's important. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep those abs deepening. 1, pause. And we reverse. We go 8, 7. So I'm lifting my head a little bit just so you can hear me. But keep your head really heavy on your hands. 3 and 2 and 1. And lower down. Push back for a quick child's pose stretch just to release the back. And then roll yourself up. Let's go onto the back. So now those bottom muscles should be nicely switched on. Let's use them in our shoulder bridge. Okay, so come onto your back. Your feet are again sit bone width apart. The knees are just comfortably bent. Okay, we're going to do a few progressions of this exercise today to really strengthen that back of the hip. Find a bottom squeeze to press the hips up. Hold it for a moment. Check for me that your feet are fully planted on the floor, that the toes aren't rolling out onto the little toe. Check that the abs are still zipped inwards. And then we roll the spine back down bone by bone by bone. Let's do a couple more of those first, just to switch on the bottom muscles. So gather the bottom muscles to come up, and then peel your spine down bone by bone by bone. And we go again. Wrap the bottom muscles to go up. Check that the legs aren't falling out to the side, and peel yourself down bone by bone by bone. Let's do one more like this. Bridging up, squeeze the bottom muscles and peeling down. Okay, now we're going to do a little walking bridge at the top. So wrap the bottom muscles to go up. Check that the bottom muscles are switched on, the abs are scooped. We pick one leg just off the floor. We hold and we place it down. We pick the other leg just off the floor. So it's not a high lift and I'm not kicking the leg out. It's just a little float off the floor and down. Other leg. It's literally 2 centimeters off the floor because we're focusing on strengthening the other bottom muscle, and place it down. The left leg floats and hold and down. Keep zipping those abs. This is still an abdominal exercise. Hold and down. Last one with the left leg. Squeeze that right bottom down and roll yourself all the way down. Okay, ready for a little froggy version? Bring the feet into a little V and take the knees a little bit out to the side. So we're now making a diamond shape in your legs. Okay, this one's called the diamond press. Zip the abs and we go again. You zip the abdominals to press the hips up, hold, and peeling down. Make sure that the feet are in a little V and that the knees are matching that V. And we go again. Wrap the bottom muscles. Check that it's not the ribs popping, it's the hips lifting, the abs are scooped. And peeling down. Let's go for 3 more. Activate the glutes. If you're feeling this in the lower back, it usually means you are arching the lower back. Think about hollowing your spine into a C curve and floating down. Last 2, wrap the bottom muscles to press and peeling down. Last one, little press. Hold for a moment, feel those bottom muscles engage, and then peeling yourself down. Close the knees, give the legs a little hug in, take a little rock from side to side just to release whatever tension might have snuck into the lower back. Okay, so because it's all about joints, let's stick with the hip joints for one more sequence for our side lying leg sequence. We're going to make it a little bit more dynamic today so that we fly through this strengthening. So you can choose either your head is down on your arm like this, or your head is up on your elbow. Whichever one you go for a nice long neckline so we're not crunching down. Your feet are in line with your bottom, so if you pick your feet up, you should be able to see your hips in line with your feet in line with your hips, and your knees are slightly in front of you. Okay, so we're going to start with a dynamic diamond shape. So you open both your legs into the diamond. Take a second just to figure this movement out. It can be a little confusing at first. I'm rotating both my legs. I'm not lifting my bottom leg, I'm just turning it out. And that's why the bottom foot floats into this diamond shape. And then smoothly lower back down. Okay, have you got the position? Let's go dynamically now. We go open and close, and open, close. The tips of the toes just stay together. So it's like you're opening a book. Open and close, open. Let's make it a bit more challenging. The abs are deep. We go open and extend the top leg, bend the top leg, close, and open, extend, and bend, and close. So when I extend this top leg, nothing moves except the shin of the top leg. I fix that knee in place, extend, and in, and down. 2 more. You should feel a little bit of a burn in these outside hip muscles by now, and open, and extend, and close. Keep the bottom leg bent, extend the top leg, flex the foot, and we're going to lift it up and lower down. Lifting up. Keeping it nice and dynamic today. Make sure that it's coming just from the hip. The abs are deep. You can put your top hand on your top hip just to make sure that it's not the hip moving. Up and down. 2 more, up and down. Last one, up and down. We circle. And 2 and 3 and 4. Keep zipping those abs. 6, 7, 8, and reverse. 2, 3. You make the circle as big as you feel like you're not wobbling forward and back. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Bring the leg in. Pause for a second. Can you feel that outside hip muscle working? We've got one more exercise left. You extend the leg, you flex the foot, you bring it about 45 degrees forward, and you turn it all the way in until the toes point towards the floor. We touch the floor with the big toe and we lift it up. Touch with the big toe and lift it up. This is the intense one. You'll feel it in these outside hip muscles almost immediately. And down and up. 4 more. Keep unshrugging those shoulders. Keep zipping the abs. And up. Make sure this leg stays turned in and up. Last one. Feel that burn in the hip. And up. And fold the leg in. Okay, let's go straight to the other side. Can you feel the fire in that outside hip? That's the strengthening of that hip joint. Okay, so on the other side, check your head position, either down on the arm or up on the elbow. Whichever version looks straight ahead. Check that your feet are directly in line with your bottom. Other hand can be either on the mat or on your hip to check the hip stability. Let's go once slowly, just open into the diamond shape. Spend a moment here just to figure this position out. Like I said, it can feel a little confusing on the first time you do it. The bottom thigh is staying on the floor, it's just turning out. And then everything lowers back with control. Let's go dynamically. We go open and close, and open and close. So even though we're going a little bit more dynamically, try and get all the way open and all the way closed every time. Ready to make it a bit more challenging? We go open and extend and bring it in and close the book. Open it, extend. Remember, when we extend, the top knee stays absolutely still. It's literally just the top shin that extends. The abs stay deep so that the hips don't roll around. Last 2. Are you starting to feel the heat in the outside of that hip? And in and open and extend and in.
Let's go for our straight leg. The leg extends out. You flex the foot. We can bring this hand onto the hip to check that it's not a pelvic movement, and we go up and down, keeping it nice and dynamic. Remember, only go as high as you can keep the leg absolutely parallel. And it doesn't feel like it's a pelvic movement. 2 more. If you're feeling this in your lower back, it means you're probably going a little bit high and you need to anchor from the abs a little bit more. Let's circle. We go 8 and 7 and 6. Now remember, only as big as you don't wobble around. If you feel like you are very wobbly, try deepening the abdominals a little bit more. That was 8. We reverse. We go 8. 7. You can bring this other hand on the floor for a little bit of balance. Last 4 now. Feel that burn in the hip. And 3 and 2 and 1. Bend the leg in for a second. Just give it a moment to recover. Let's go for our turned in version. The leg extends, flex the foot, bring it 45 degrees forward, turn the leg all the way inward so the toes point to the floor, and we go touch the big toe to the floor and lift. And 2 and lift. We only do 8 of these because they are quite intense, especially if you keep the leg all the way turned in. 4 more. We go 4 and up and 3. Keep the abs engaged. Keep the shoulders relaxed and up. Last one, down and up. Fold it in. Okay, we are on the home stretch. Let's do our upper body work. We're going to do our Pilates push-up and then we'll do some standing work to finish for those ankles and feet. Okay, so the important thing with our Pilates press-up is that the shoulders stay unshrugged and that the elbows stay close to the body. So you have a couple of options. Hands are directly under the shoulders to begin with. If you're feeling super strong, you extend one leg out and then you join the other leg out so that we're in a nice long plank position. Have a go at this. See how deep can you press without the shoulders bunching up to the ears and keeping the elbows tight to the body. If that felt too challenging, pop the knees down, but check that the hips stay in line, so we don't want to be here with your bottom up in the air. Choose your version and let's see if we can do 2 more presses. So you go as low as you can, keep the shoulders unshrugged, and the elbows tight into the body. Let's do 1 more. Bend the elbows, keep those abs deep. Good. Now, if you are in the plank position, put the knees down and we sit back for a nice long child's pose stretch. We're just going to repeat that sequence twice more. And come to the 4-point kneeling. Take a moment to choose your version. So you're either going to extend both legs, or you're going to have the knees down with the hips in line. Okay, have you got your position? Let's go for it. We go as low as we can keep the shoulders unshrugged and the elbows into the ribs, which might mean it's not very low. We go for absolute control. The abs are deep. Squeeze the inner thighs together. If your knees aren't already down, pop them down and sit back for a nice long child's pose stretch. Good. The last set is always the most challenging because those muscles are a little bit tired by now. Here we go. 4-point kneeling. Find your position. Knees up or knees down. Squeeze the inner thighs. Unshrug the shoulders. Are you ready? Here we go. Bend, bend, bend and press. And bend, bend, bend and press. Keep those elbows close to the body. Bend, bend, bend and press. Pop the knees down. One last little child's pose stretch. And then roll the spine up. Okay, come to standing. Grab your chair or go over to a wall. You can do the whole sequence holding onto a wall, a table, a chair. Or as I said before, if you're feeling very brave, you can do it freestanding. I'm going to show it holding on. So stand facing either your wall or your chair to begin. Our feet are just about sit bone width apart, absolutely parallel. So check that you're not a little bit turned out and check that maybe not one foot is off to the side. Okay, This is called standing footwork in Pilates. We deepen the abdominals. We find a little engagement of the bottom muscles. Now, you bend the knees. How deep can you go without the bottom sticking out behind you or the knees falling inwards? From here, you keep that low as you pick the heels up as high as they can go. You straighten the knees, really pull those thigh muscles up, keeping the ankles high, and then we lower down. Good, so there's our sequence. Let's go with a little bit of dynamic. So we go bend and lift, straighten the knees, put the heels down, bend, lift the heels, keep them high and lower. Let's do 2 more in this direction. How high can you lift the heels, then how high can you keep them? Last one, bend and lift and rise. Now we reverse, we lift the heels. Keep the heels as high as you can as you bend the knees. Place just the heels and straighten. The knees pull up. We bend the knees, keep the ankles high. Place the heels. Let's go with a bit of rhythm. We go up, bend the knees, place the heels, straighten the knees, lift the heels, keep the heels high, place the heels. 2 more. We go up, just the knees bend, just the ankles, straighten last time. Bend the knees, place the heels. Now we're going to alternate foot. So one foot comes up to the ball of the foot. We go up and place the heel. Up and place the heel. The heel that's high stays high. And it's just the lowering leg that goes down. 2 more. Up and down. Last set. We're going to progress this by lowering all the way to a bent knee. So we go to the top, the heel that goes down bends. We go up, the heel that goes down bends. Up, down to a bent knee. Up, down to a bent knee. Last 2 sets. Final set now. Up. You should be feeling a little bit of warmth in those ankle muscles and place it down. Okay, last little bit of challenge for those ankle muscles. Pick one foot up and you put the foot just next to the ankle so that we're just bracing inwards a little bit for a bit of support. Now all we're going to do is we're going to rise up really smoothly and slowly 4 times on that standing leg. We're going to rise up, 2, 3, 4 and down, 2, 3, 4. Try and keep over the middle of the foot, so that we're not rolling out onto the little toe of that standing foot. So you're right in the middle of that standing foot. And up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3. Switching sides. The other foot glues to that ankle. We pull the knee muscle up, pull the abdominals up, and we go up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. Check that you're right over the middle of the foot. Try not to roll onto the little toe or the big toe. And down, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 2, 3, 4. Down, 2, 3, 4. And give it all a little bit of a shake. Okay, we're going to do a quick little calf stretch. So stand facing your wall or your chair. Bend your knees. We're going to step one leg out behind you. And then just try and lengthen that heel towards the floor. If you want more stretch, you take the leg further back. If you want less stretch, you bring the foot further in. Keep the heel grounded and try and press your hips forward in towards your front heel. The more you anchor the heel and push the hips forward, the deeper that calf stretch will be. Okay, coming back together, we set to the other side. You bend the knees, you extend one leg back, make sure this knee is straight, and then you roll that heel down. Remember, more stretch, you take the leg further back. Less stretch, you bring it a bit closer, and we try and deepen the hips towards the floor as we ground that back heel. Just hold it for a moment. and release, coming up. Good job. That is us done for today. I hope your joints feel nice and energized and revitalized. Hope the abdominals feel activated and fired up. And I hope you feel ready for another week. I look forward to seeing you again next time here at Silver Linings at Home. Bye-bye.